Hello everyone, this is Senpai here, and I am here for another video, and also another series on the channel. Guides! I teased this a while back, and I've talked about it in streams, but I am finally doing it. While I would love to cover every single character going forward, I unfortunately don't summon for all of them, and save up usually, especially on Star Rail. But for a good while, I likely will do every Wuthering Waves character going forward and Zenless. Without further ado, it's time for the Carlotta guide.
What, miss me already?
Wuthering Waves' new 5-star white-haired waifu, Carlotta, is an absolute short, but also insanely powerful character on the level of Jinhsi, which, while being predictable as Jinhsi wasn't going to be the strongest character forever, her appearance and powers are cool, get it? Because she's Glacio. Her weapon of choice makes her even better because what's better than a cool white-haired waifu? One with guns. What? Why are you disliking the video? We all know him, right? Jokes aside, she does have some of the best animations today for this game, and her appearance will make her one of the best selling characters, as the message that the Wuwa team put out says as much. So much for the Doom posters that said Wuwa EOS. All of this is nice to see, almost as nice as it is for her to look at me. No, seriously, stop looking at me like that. It's gonna make me blush. Moving on to her kit. Everything is built around these multiple crystals and substance, both mentioned in her Forte circuit. Her normal attacks are normal bullets that will then be multiple crystals as shown on screen. If you keep basic attacking, you will keep breaking them normally. However, her skill makes the process much easier and faster. The startup and first two strikes do the same as a basic attack, just much stronger. There's also a second attack, called the Chromatic Splendor, which makes you jump around and attack, resulting in a very cool animation. When using Resonance skill on an enemy, the debuff called Dispersion will make the enemy immobilized for 1.5 seconds, making it easier for you to keep attacking the enemy. This is easily the biggest part of her rotation, as Chromatic Splendor breaks all the multiple crystals gained from basic attacks / skills. The intro skill also gives you 3 multiple crystals, and will help out with the Forte circuit. Talking about the Forte circuit though, they holds all the substance in her kit. Pun intended, of course. The multiple crystals that break each create 10 substance and can be added up to at most 120 substance, where it will change your charge attack into a big glass breaking attack, which does a lot of damage to the enemy and freezes time while doing so, easily comboing into her Resonance Liberation. The startup makes Carlotta destroy a glass that contains her image and does a lot of damage to the enemy and gives them the debuff Deconstruction. It makes her change into another mode, Twilight Tango. In this mode, she can do crystallized damage. She can do 4 attacks of pure crystallized damage called Death Kneel before shooting out the fatal finale to the enemy, ending the Twilight Tango mode. The Deconstruction debuff makes the damage that your party does there until the target is defeated ignore 18% of a target's defense. She basically has Nahida C2, except this is in her base kit, no constellations to pull. And to end off her kit, her outro skill does damage. No, seriously, that's all it does. With all of their skills out of the way, it's time for the Echo builds. For all of the unfortunate souls, me being one of them, that was planning on using the old Glacial set, Freezing Frost, that is not her best set, as the 2.0 update brought the new Frosty Resolve set, which enhances Resonance skill damage and Glacial damage. Why is the Resonance skill damage part so big? I neglected to mention in her breakdown, but most of her damage is considered Resonance skill damage. The skill changes damage to Resonance skill, and her Resonance Liberation is considered Resonance skill damage, and that consists of 90% of her damage. So enhancing that is pivotal to increasing her damage overall. However, using the Freezing Frost set is still a good starting point if you had that built up and haven't built up the Frosty Resolve set. I'll be mainly talking about the Frosty Resolve set though, and with that, the Sentry Construct is the best cost for Echo, and the only one at that. You will want crit rate if you have her weapon, and if not, weigh your options, but either of crit rate and damage is good. For her 3 costs, go Glacial damage on both, and for her 1 cost, go attack percent. For her substats, you will want the standard crit rate and crit damage, with attack percent and skill damage bonus as a secondary priority. If you get 3 out of 4 of those on Carlotta, then she will be very happy. I hope she loves me. Alright. The same goes for the Freezing Frost set though. And then Echo Breakdown was rather easy, but now comes the easier but also harder part, her weapons. Her weapons is not that hard if you have her signature weapon. It is by far the greatest weapon for her. However, if you don't have her weapon, it is more situational, more so you take what you can get. You can give her the Static Mist as it does have very good base stats and crit rate. However, the passive is more so a support passive. Undying Flame is an okay option. It does have resonance skill damage and it does have attack percent. However, there's no crit rate to speak of. While I do not have the Romance and Farewell gun, it would still be fine as she does have debuffs with her skill on Liberation. Other than that, there's no real other truly viable option. But it's a give and take for other weapons, and so just choose what you have. For teams, the teams that I mainly use her on is with herself, Jeja, and Shorekeeper, as that is currently the best team. However, if you really don't want to use or just simply do not have Jeja, you can always use Changli or Yinlin and try to make it work, or Zhengli Yao for that matter. But Jeja is definitely the best, the most optimal character as a secondary DPS for Carlotta. For support / healer, Shorekeeper is definitely the best, but Verena is a close second, and even Baija competes with Verena. If you just want to use Verena on like another team, or you just don't have either of them. For the rotation part of this video, Jeja will be using the Moonlit Cloud set, and Shorekeeper will be using the healing set with Fallacy of No Return. But without further ado, let's get into rotations. Now starting off, you'll want to use her E, and then use her E again. Use her Echo, then swap over to Shorekeeper in this case, but you can swap for any support here that you want to use, like Verena or Baija. But then you'll want to swap to your secondary DPS, in this case Jeja. You want to use her skills, and then her Echo, and then you swap back to Carlotta. You'll want to use her E, then use her E again. I use Echo, but you can always just use her skill right there, and then go into her Resonance Liberation. From here on, it is just autopilot. You just use your, you just click 4 times, and then a big shot, boom, and then start it up again. Use her E twice, Echo, and then swap. And there you go. That's the rotation. The question for free-to-plays or low spenders like myself is, should I get the weapon, or should I go for more resonance chains? Due to the limited options and weapons, I would certainly recommend her weapon. Wuthering Waves makes it fairly easy to get the weapons, and would be much easier to go for that than risk losing the 50-50 and wasting my time. If you do want to go for resonance chains, the best to go is definitely the first one for low spenders. The best to go for overall is either the 4th or the 6th one, but that isn't too doable for any people. This whole showcase was done with an RC1 Carlotta, and she did more than fine, and should do more than fine for a good while in the game. Lower down the damage a little bit, especially in her Liberation, and you can see that her damage is still very good, even at RC0. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Tell me what you thought of my analysis and usage of Carlotta. If you summoned for Carlotta, tell me how it went and your experience with her. I think she is a great addition to Wuthering Waves and to my waifu collection, and I hope you think so too. I should have brought out this video much sooner, but going forward, these will come out much faster with the character's release. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and until next time, peace.